Every system has an emergency brake, something you can pull when things don't go as planned. In Canada's democracy, that's something we call the Notwithstanding clause, built into Canada's constitution for rare exceptional situations. It lets governments stop the courts from striking down a law, at least for a while. Written into Section 33 of the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, the Notwithstanding clause lets federal or provincial governments pass a law even if it violates certain charter rights. When the charter was created in 1982, courts were given the power to strike down laws that violated rights. The Notwithstanding clause was the compromise, a kind of safety valve that says courts can protect rights, but elected governments can get the final say in some situations. But there are guardrails. Governments have to clearly say when they're using it. They can't hide it in fine print. And the override only lasts 5 years before it expires or has to be renewed. It's controversial because it tests the balance between protecting individual rights and respecting democratic decisions. In recent years, Ontario and Quebec have both used or threatened to use the clause, and Alberta used it most recently in October of 2025. In Ontario, Doug Ford's government has actually used the Notwithstanding clause, or tried to restore limits on election advertising and again briefly to block education workers from striking. Both moves triggered public backlash and renewed debates on how easily governments should be able to use it. It's important to note that the Notwithstanding clause doesn't apply to every right in the Charter. It only covers sections 2 and 7 through 15, things like freedom of expression, religion, and equality rights. It can't be used to override democratic rights, mobility rights, or language rights. So the government can't, for example, cancel elections or strip citizenship. Supporters call it a democratic safeguard, and critics call it a threat to rights. Either way, the Notwithstanding clause is Canada's constitutional escape hatch, one that opens up a bigger question: when should governments ever get to pull the brake?